Hi, I'm Katie from The Queen Stitch, and I'm teaming up with Love Crafts to teach you how to crochet. We have a huge selection of craft videos available on our YouTube channel from basic to advanced. So if you love crafts, feel free to click subscribe today. In this video, I'll be teaching you the basics of crochet, the very, very basics. We're going to be covering chain stitch, single crochet, and double crochet, all in US terminology. Let's get started. So let's start with our basic chain. The first thing we need to do is make a slip knot. So let's make some slack, grab some yarn that we can use. So this is how I make a slip knot. Take my short end and I throw it over to make a loop. I insert my two fingers into the loop and I pull up on that short end. Boop, just like that. Then you take your crochet hook, put it through the loop, and tighten it. Got our end, and the yarn that's connected to the skein is called your working yarn. It's the working yarn side. Now to start our chain, I find it's helpful to grab the end of the non-working yarn in order to keep your chain in place. If you don't hold on to the yarn in this hand, you're going to be working and it's going to be swizzling around and you're not going to be able to have a very good grip on your project. So I hold it here. So when we're starting our chain, the first thing you want to do is yarn over. And what that means is wrap the yarn around your hook. To catch the yarn, it's going to have to fall into the top of the hook. This is going to take some getting used to. You might lose it, it might get peeled between the plies here. That's all right. Give yourself some patience. These are the absolute basics of crochet and it's going to take some time to get used to it. So we're holding on to our non-working yarn so that our knot stays in place. We yarn over and catch it, and then we're going to pull the yarn through that loop. And that's our first chain stitch. See him there? Yarn over, pull through. Now we have two loops. Those are our first two chain stitches. So again, find out what's comfortable for you as everyone crafts differently. Some people will hold it here, some people will hold it here. Do whatever makes you comfortable. Yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3 chains. Yarn over, catch it on your hook, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's chain 11. This is yarn over 5, yarn over 6, yarn over 7, yarn over 8, yarn over 9, yarn over 10, and yarn over 11. So you can see all of these loops are relatively the same size. As you practice your crochet, this will become more and more consistent. In the beginning, you may have pulled one of the chains a little bit too tightly, but the looser the chain is, the easier it will be for you to work your stitches into. As you can see, if I'm doing a row of whatever, I can stick my hook easily into any of these loops. But if I had pulled it really tightly, what would I do? There's no getting in there. So don't be afraid to be relaxed with your first crochet, even though it's very stressful because we're starting a new project. Often, you will always need to chain one more than however many stitches will be in your main garment, but we can worry more about that later. Now you have a chain. So now that we have our chain, we can introduce some crochet stitches. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's add an 11th chain because we want to do 10 single crochet stitches. And it's important when working flat like this with a foundation chain to always chain one more than you have number of stitches. So a single crochet is as follows. Well, actually, wait. Let me just tell you that a single crochet, the way I'm saying it, is the American terminology. In the UK, New Zealand, and Australia, this would be called a double crochet. In all patterns, all crochet patterns, you'll see if it's a UK or a US pattern and what terminology the artist/designer is using. So to start our single crochet, we want to work in one loop away from our hook. So since this was our 11th chain, you can see that here. Let me open it up for you so it's easier to see. We want to work in that second loop away from it. So let's start a single crochet. Insert your hook into that chain loop, yarn over, which again means catch that yarn on your hook, and pull it through the loop. So right now, we have 2 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over. See, I twist my hook so that I can catch it easier. Pull through 2. This is our first single crochet stitch. And you can guess what happens next. We're going to insert our hook into that second chain loop, yarn over by catching it, boop, pull it back through that chain loop so that we have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and catch it, pull through those 2 loops. Look at that. 2 single crochet stitches we've got now. We're going to continue to work our way down the foundation chain. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We've got 3 now. So just keep counting. Insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see you'll be working in each loop, and you can recognize each loop by the little V's. Sometimes when you're beginning, it's easy to sort of, squidge the loops and work in random, things. If you see this, you can always take your hook out and pull out that stitch. Pull a little bit lightly on the ends of your chain, and the loops should become apparent again. So we can just put our hook back in, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, we're just starting out. So if you do find that you've single crocheted into some wonky holes and just don't be afraid to pull it out. Oh, yes, liberating, right? So insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So let's go down the line. Now, at the end of this row, you should have 10 single crochet stitches. I find it's easiest to look at the top to count these. So you can see the little V's, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is exactly how many single crochets we want. To start the next row of our single crochet, we need to chain 1, which you'll remember from the beginning of this video is just a yarn over pulling through. And then we turn our work. So to work the next row of single crochet, we want to work in the top of the single crochet stitches from the row before. So where is that? It's here, right in here. So the first hole you'll see is right through there. So we've got our chain 1. We're going to insert our hook into this first space. From the top, you can see that there will be those 2 loops on your hook. So you should be going through both. So if you go like this, or maybe you've got like a whole thing through, it should just be right in here in the top. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So you can see it a little bit more spread out now. Again, we're gonna insert our hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. As you can see, instead of holding the chain now, I'm holding the rest of my work with these 2 fingers. It just lets me keep everything in order, because if you don't, then this is wobbling around and it's like an earthquake at your craft table. So just always try to keep one hand on your work to keep it from squidging around. As you can see though, as I have moved along, I've switched it to this hand. Do whatever makes you comfortable. Now, we've gotten almost to the end of the row. And if you're not sure about your stitches, remember you can count those V's on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to make sure to do this last one. And now you can see it may look like there's an extra stitch at the end, but this will all even out as we continue. So we've done 2 rows. We've got a chain 1 and turn. Now we have 2 rows. So how about we move on to the double crochet in American terminology? So now let's try the US double crochet. Just like before, we're going to start with 11 chain loops as our foundation chain. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chains. So unlike the single crochet, where we start in the second loop away, we're going to start in the third loop away, and I'll show you why. So the first thing we're gonna do is yarn over. I know, first. And then we're gonna insert our hook into that third loop. Yarn over and pull through. We now have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. And we finished our first double crochet stitch. So obviously there's one more step in the double crochet, and I'll do that again slowly. Wrap your yarn first. Insert your hook into that next chain loop, yarn over, and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Now you have that second double crochet. Let's do another. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So going back to why we started in that third loop away, because these 2 chain loops count as our first double crochet stitch. And often in crochet patterns, you'll see that with double crochet, you always start the row with 2 chain. But enough about that. Let's keep doing some double crochets. Yarn over, insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's get to the end of the row and I'll meet back up with you. Okay, so now we're at the end and we need to make sure that we have the correct number of stitches. So we have our 2 chain here, which counts as our first stitch. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's what we want because we want 9 DC and then our chain. In some patterns, they have you chain 3 to start a DC row. I prefer 2. I think it looks nicer. To start our next row, chain 2. 1, 2, and then turn your work. Once you've turned, you're going to start your second row. Now, because this chain 2 counts as your first stitch, you're going to work that next stitch into the second hoop here. So if you pull your work to look at where all the various holes are, you want to work on the top of the stitches. You don't want to go in here. This is what we call the post. This is the top of the stitch. So to start the second row of double crochet, you need to yarn over and insert your hook in that second stitch here. Yarn over, pull through, and this should look similar to what we've seen before. 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and voila, we're starting that second row. Don't be afraid when you're first starting to really pull your work around so you can see what you're doing. I did it a lot. Yarn over, insert your hook into the top of that stitch, pull through, so there are 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you can see that the stitches sort of line up, and that should help see where you're at. If, for example, I made a mistake and I yarned over and put it in here instead, you can see that this is directly in the middle of 2 stitches, and that doesn't look right. So let's pull that out. Insert your hook, yarn over, top of the stitch here, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you can see the difference between single crochet and double crochet is that we have 1 more loop on our hook than we did in single crochet, and there are 2 motions where we're pulling through 2. You see that? Pull through 2, pull through 2. Whereas with single crochet, we only pulled through 2 once. So this is an easy mistake for beginners to make, which you can bet I made about 1,000 times, is that when you get to the end of your second row, it may seem like you're done here. But if we count, we've got our chain, 1, chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're missing a stitch. So we need to make sure that we double crochet in the top of that chain, which can sometimes get twisted. So just always make sure you're looking at a V. Insert your hook, being sure to catch both loops. Yarn over, pull through. We've got the 3. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And then to start that next row, we chain 2 and turn. Thanks for joining me, Katie, along with Love Crafts on how to learn the basics of crochet. If you enjoyed yourself and would like to learn even more crochet skills or any other crafts, check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel and click subscribe so you never miss a video. Until next time.